All right, we're live.
We're here. I can't hear myself. I feel weird.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
Yeah, I feel weird.
I can hear you.
Anyway, we're at the new building in our temporary setup. Everything's temporary. So my whole life seems to be temporary at this point. My house is not temporary, though. I feel like I'm moved in and living. But everything else is in limbo. But I think, did the closing go through yet? Do we know yet?
All of your documents are signed.
Mm-hmm.
They're in. The seller is going at, the buyer is going at 3:30 to sign off on his stuff.
And then we'll be done. So that's the other building. So we were in 3 buildings. Mm-hmm. First building was 322. That's the one I had half of it, and then I got the second half. And then the second building was the yarn building, and the third building was the 5,000 square foot building up like a couple of miles from here. So the 322 we moved out of first, moved everything into here, and then I listed the building up there for sale, and then the lease ended on the yarn building May 31st. So we moved out of 322, but 2 months after we'd planned, because of occupancy for this building, the yarn building, I'm just going to keep the lease till the 31st, and we thought, maybe we could move out of there early, but I tried to extend it. So anyway, the building was listed for sale. It sold, and then we had to deal with a bunch of other bullcrap, occupancy and permits and all that kind of stuff. So we finally got all that cleared out, and so that is closing today. So they get my money back. Mm-hmm. So that gets off the docket, the electric bill, the insurance, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's the one thing we got to do is we got to submit for the insurance cancellation. Mm-hmm. I guess it's a good thing we kept the insurance going, huh? So then that sells today. So that gets off the books. And then I had called the yarn lady about extending the yarn building, and then her building sold. So we got to be out of there by the 31st. So we'll be in here completely in 4 weeks.
Yep, by the end of May.
Yeah, 5 weeks. And then I'll have one bill instead of 27 bills. Just one really, really big bill.
One big one.
Yeah. But net, so we have this big giant building that's going to be our muse for the next, decade or so. And the delta is not untenable. It's probably about, I would guess, probably $100,000 a year difference between all in for the other 3 buildings versus this one. Maybe $75,000, but now I own it, right? And so that $75,000 additional expense, the electric bill will probably be a little bit more. The property tax bill is considerably more. So yeah, with the property tax bill, it's probably about $100K, more than what I was paying in the other buildings. But I was paying, let's see, $5,000, $10,000, say $15,000 a month in rent per se, and then electric bills and all of that stuff. Whereas our mortgage is like $20,000. So I've got $5,000 a month more for more than 2 times the space. And then the efficiencies that we gained from having everybody in one spot. I'll have to hire less, like for the warehouse and for curated and stuff like that. So, net, I'm going to probably end up break even or saving money. So for those of you who think that, we're just splurging on some big fancy building, no, we probably should have bought a building a long time ago. But now it's something I own and I'm paying myself, if you will. So I'm paying it off, and then someday we'll own it free and clear, and it'll be an asset. But we also did a cost segregation study, and so that's the other thing. It's going to save me like $500,000 in tax this year, probably another $300,000 in tax next year, and then about $60,000 in tax every year forever with depreciation. So I'm able to net be in a much better long-term financial position once we get over the initial cash outlay, and then we'll take our time and build this out one step at a time.
Yeah. So what's first up here? What's the first project?
So first step was to get in here, right, and then get the air conditioning functioning. So right now we're kind of limping along with one AC unit, and so they're coming in a couple of weeks to install the air handlers and to get the system fully functioning. And then I've got to make a decision depending on what that all in ends up costing. They said, the budget was about $80,000, which we had earmarked in the negotiation of the building. So I have that money set aside to do the AC units from the bank. So we actually split the cost of that. We split the cost of the parking lot as well, and then I have the option, if I want, to do the roof. So we'll probably, depending on what the air conditioning costs, we'll probably end up doing the roof, and then we're in good shape for 20 years. We have a 20-year parking lot. We got a 20-year air conditioning system. We got a 20-year roof. So otherwise, we can continue to kind of nurse the roof. The insurance that I currently have said, well, we don't replace the roof, we're not renewing. We're not going to use them anyway. But I just needed to get some insurance for this year, and you pay up front for the year. So, those are the major things to get done. The next step is to do the studio. So I'm talking to Rytech and Overhead Doors right now.
Studio, you mean your
the garage. Yep. So the garage is going to be let's see, it's 70, so it's 88 by 28 is the it's 88 long, 28 deep. I'm going to do either Rytech or Overhead Doors. I'm working on trying to work with Rytech. I mean, they'd be it's so funny. I'm talking to Rytech marketing.
Okay.
And a 50-year-old white dude, pretty typical. And he's too busy soon because he has like a Zoom meeting with corporate internal Zoom meeting. He has no idea who he's talking to. I'm like the garage oracle, and they have like 290 followers on Instagram, and they make the coolest doors in the world. Not to say that Instagram's the end-all be-all for a commercial company, but every single person buying a Rytech door is on Instagram looking at garage stuff, if they own dealerships or, so my argument is, let me do that for you. I just need you to sell me your doors at cost. Otherwise, I'm going to buy regular doors. So I've already talked to a contractor about, we're going to have to permit, and we need an engineer, so we have to have a structural engineer because we have to cut the holes in the wall. And I'm going to do, I think, 2 18-foot by 10-foot doors. So 10 feet tall, 18 feet wide, and I would love them to be the high-speed doors. That'd be sick. So Overhead is called a 999 series. That's their high-speed door. Rytech is the spiral. And so I need to figure out, how we're going to do it and if we can do it and make sure they're insulated and all that stuff. But each door is like probably $40,000, which I don't have money allocated toward. And so what I'm looking to do is, if I could do it for like 30 and do a lot of work for them, do it at cost, because I've got to pay the contractor and we got to cut and all that stuff. We could do it ourselves, but when you're cutting holes in the side of the building, you have to get that permitted and all that. So yeah, we're going to be building the studio this summer. We're finishing up Lena's kitchen. Mike's over there now, finishing up that stuff. So I think him and Trevor are putting the hood in today. And then he has to do the duct work. So mid next week, he'll be done with that. Then we have to divert our attention to getting out of the yarn building. So we have to take that all apart. And then we'll start on the garage here.
We got a couple people noticing the background here. They said, first podcast from Grandma's house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looks like you're broadcasting from a daycare. What else here? Here, this is completely off topic, but I think you'd like this. Which protein powder do you currently use, Matt? Lee wants to know.
I stopped doing protein powder recently, but I was doing Legion, which comes in a big 5-pound bag. That's the best I found. I did Progenics for a long time. I want it to taste good, but I also don't want it to be all filled with sugar and junk.
Yeah.
And so I think the Legion's pretty decent.
All right, this one, I can't see his name, Honey something, I think, but it's covered up here. Good morning, gentlemen. Need advice for a 3-inch polisher for a weekend warrior. Been looking at the Grio's new hybrid and also the GR3. Could you give me your advice, please?
You want the G13. Their hybrid one's terrible. You don't want that one, and I don't sell it for a reason. So you want in a price friendly, corded version. You want the Grio's G13, the 13 millimeter. I think it's called the G13. It's a 12 millimeter orbit, but I think it's the G13 model. How much is it? It's like $200. We have it in our store. Yeah, $220. I think I just saw it. Yeah, it's a there it is on the left on our $229. I think it's the G13, right?
G15, G13.
Yep, G13, $229.99. That's the one you want. Yeah, people need to get over this whole, like, I want to do, multi-purpose. The problem with the multi-purpose ones is they're not good at either. Like the PXE80, I keep the PXE80 in my cabinet. That's the Flex, cordless, just simply because I can use it with their little rope thingy that I can do under door handles and stuff. The problem with hybrids is that they're not good 1-inch and they're not good 3-inch. They're terrible at both, or not great at both. The PXE80 isn't terrible at either one of them, but it's not the best at either. The Grio's hybrid or whatever they call it, it's just not a good machine.
All right, Addison says, hey, Matt, quick question for you. What's the best way to remove creases from leather bolsters? And also, even if I clean my leather, will it just naturally look shiny over time?
No. So actually, I just did a leather cleaning on the E30 today. So to keep the shine away, you have to keep the dirt out of it. What that shine is your body oils and dirt. So the way to do that, you go to obsessgarage.com, go to the interior cleaning section. You want the color lock brush. We have an OG black version that we buy from them. You want strong and mild cleaners from Color Lock. And so it's a little foaming bottle. You press a little foamer, it foams it up. You put it on the edge of the brush. You swipe-a-roo, and you'll deep clean the leather. And then you don't want to put any kind of weird bull crap on there. You want to put leather shield on it. So you want something that allows the leather to continue to breathe, but you don't want it clogging up, but you want a nice sacrificial layer. So leather shield is the product to use. If your leather's 3 years old or less, just shield. If it's 3 years old or more, so if it's older than 3 years, do leather protection cream first, then top that with shield. So that's what you want to do.
Joseph has a confession here. He says, Happy Friday, guys. I did some huge damage to the Oreos last night.
Oh, shoot. That's sad. That's not good.
It used to be Matt.
No Oreos for me for,
8 months.
Yeah, easily. And not a single one. So somebody had turned me on to this, and then it was confirmed, and I don't know how much scientific this is, but pretty much every white flour or wheat flour is now in the U.S. is enriched. It's something to do with like spina bifida in the 90s or something to reduce the risk of that. So they just started pumping. I think it really has to do with they just had a lot of folic acid laying around that Monsanto or somebody had, and they wanted to sell. And so now all of our wheat gets sprayed with this chemical, which if you have certain gene breaks, you can't process. And so I can't process folic acid. But your body, an essential, I guess, amino acid, I don't know if it's an amino acid, but folate is something that you do need. But my body can't create folate from folic acid. And so it ends up making me freaking crazy. And so here I am pumping my body filled with all this enriched white flour. So that's the one thing. I've cheated with some make some pizza, but if I'm going to do pizza, I'm going to buy some organic, unbleached, unenriched. So you want just flour. White flour is fine. Whole wheat flour, I guess, would be better. White flour is not the devil as long as it's not sprayed with frickin' folic acid. Now, you got to have it in moderation. But the Oreos, man, I love them. They're so good, and I'm not doing it. Dead to me.
Well, he goes on to say, something I was thinking about. after the Oreos here. I drove my 22 Toyota GR86 home, and the wrapping and the paint was perfect from the factory. No sanding or polishing fails. I didn't even have to decon. Just coated right away, and it's been super dialed in ever since. Weird how Ferrari, Porsche, etc. has a hard time with this when Toyota can do it perfectly.
I suspect there's probably still some defects that you needed to remove, but it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, that no one then chimed in and said, no paint is perfect from factory. You coated over imperfections whether you notice them or not.
Yeah, it's better that you don't notice them.
Yeah.
It's a better way to live. I'm telling you. It'd be a better way to live to know that you can just eat some Oreos and be okay with it.
There you go, Joseph. Daniel says, hey, Matt, do you think you'll ever get a Carrera GT or at least get to spend some quality time with one?
No, I think they're gonzo. Carrera GTs are $2 million plus now. No, I don't have those kind of dreams, but maybe that would change if I had more money. I don't know. Maybe you get to a point to where you'd want something like that. I mean, that car's a little before my time. The 918 would be more appropriate, but to me, the 918 would have been really awesome to get, just so that way you were a Porsche VIP. Because then you would get access to any car you want. And so everybody ended up making money. If they held on to it long enough, ended up making a bunch of money. So they got a huge discount on a 918. I think they were like $900,000, and they were selling them for just trying to give them away, $600,000-$700,000. And then you got in the VIP program, and then of course everything took off. I want just a bunch of 911s. I've been currently hot on the trail for a 2015 or 16 GTS. So a 99, some variant, so you guys can help me out here. Start sending them to me. I'm not ready to buy anything. I don't have any room for it. Oh, shoot, I'm going to have one extra car. Maybe, Chris, you'll just want to take one of my cars and have it for a while.
Sure.
I don't have, when we lose the yarn building, I have 4 cars and only 3 garage spots.
Yep.
So it's going to be a problem.
Which one are you going to give?
The Evo is going to sit outside, I guess.
It's a beater. That's what it's for.
So, what was I saying? Oh, so what my goal is, as I get on the road and drive more, hopefully continue to improve, that I would transition from the Evo to I want a Carrera GTS. Either Carrera GTS, it has to be manual, no frickin' PDK nonsense. So manual, it could be 14, 15, or 16. Those are the 3 years. It could be a 50th anniversary, which has the power kit. So I want a power kit car, the one that has 30 extra horsepower. So either a C2S that has the power kit, a GTS, which has the power kit. By the way, the power kit also gives you the wide body, the Carrera 4 body. I think a Club Coupe, which was Club Blau, so the Club Blue color, and there's also a couple other special editions that they had. It needs to have the Sport Design front bumper. See that white one there has the Sport Design front bumper.
Okay.
And then it needs to be under 10,000 miles. I'd say under 15,000. That's what I'm looking for.
32,000. It's too many.
And that's probably a PDK. And in a perfect world, see, 7-speed automatic. So in a perfect world, it would have carbon ceramics. It'd be white, red, or some cool paint a sample color. I don't want silver. I don't want agate gray. Definitely don't want black. So that's going to be part of the fun, is to chase, and look for the perfect car.
All right, let's see. Spencer, our buddy, says, just placed my Bilt Hamber pre-order along with an Ego blower.
Nice.
Hopefully I made the right choice with the 580 versus the bigger ones.
Oh, 100%. Yep. The 765 is growing on me, knowing that the 580 is going to be going away. But the 580 is I don't know how to explain it. It's not the best specs. It's just the best user experience. You made a good choice.
Justin says, had another press-all tip break for no reason at all. Any timeline for the stainless one?
Oh, it's funny. I just got the email today. I think they're ready. So fluorinated industrial spray head with a stainless tip. is cost, I think, was it's euros. It was like, I don't know, I have to do the conversion. It's not going to be that much more than the regular bottle. So we're looking at hopefully a couple months. So it'll be a fluorinated bottle, which means the labels will stick. It will be a stainless tip, and then hopefully industrial head with improved seals. Then it's ready to turn it loose.
Jose wants to know, hey, Matt, how often should we be replacing Crinzla check valves and seals?
Every 5 years, depending on how much you use it. If you use it once a week, 5 years, 6 years.
High definition detail and protection wants to know. He says, we're keeping the wallpaper in this building, right?
Right.
And then Youth Man says, we need some OG wallpaper.
Yeah, we need no wallpaper. No wallpaper allowed.
Maybe we can sell off pieces of this.
Yeah, I suspect it's probably not going to come off very well.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we could, we cut out little autographed pieces of sea towers or lighthouses.
There's that. There's the palm trees out there, the clouds.
Yeah.
You have 3 or 4 different varieties. We can help you out. Keith says, I need an Evo update, please, out of all your cars. That's the only one I can afford/relate to.
I don't know if you could afford mine, but maybe an Evo. Mine's probably one of the most expensive cars I have. It's great, man. I still haven't tuned it. I haven't done the turbo yet. But even stock, I have the check engine light on because it's catless. And then I still haven't figured out the stupid 3 lights of the stupid ACD, the thing to switch from tarmac to gravel to snow. But it's probably 300 horsepower at the wheels, something like that. With the little modifications I've done, it pulls pretty hard. It's nice, comfy. I've gotten used to it. It's really grown on me, and I'm gonna do a stereo in it. So I started to get all the stereo components lined up. That's going to be great. I have to listen to the freaking radio right now. It's horrible.
Aaron says, I'm excited for the Bilt Hamber drop. Are there any items from Bilt Hamber that you won't be able to sell?
No. So the process or the way we're going to set it up is that I'm only selling on Obsessed Garage the things that I'm in love with. The other stuff will be available through Bilt Hamber's website direct. So when you log in, this is coming in coming months. You'd go to BiltHamber.com. It would know that your IP location, as long as you're not using a VPN, or you'd select your location, purchase whatever you want to purchase, and we'll ship it from here. So that's the plan.
But here we're carrying 3 items, right?
Correct. To start. Yep. And then the clay bars are coming, so we'll be carrying those as well. Traceless, Atomac, touchless will be carried by Obsessed Garage. The other products will be available in Bilt Hamber. The other products will also be available at some of our partners. We're going to take on some other retailers because I'm not a retailer. And so me just putting all the stuff on my site goes completely against everything that I've built. And so instead, it'll be available direct for Bilt Hamber, which will be the fulfillment for, or it will be available via, I don't know who yet, but talk to like Car Supply's Warehouse and Detailed Image and Auto Geek, and we'll talk to the other retailers about who wants to take it on. Sky's the limit, Car Care.
Speaking of which, Taylor Hardy says, good afternoon. Hope all is well in the OG world. It felt like Christmas morning hearing the Bilt Hamber products were dropping for a pre-order. I scooped up a 5-liter of touchless and a bottle of traceless to try.
Nice.
Thanks, Taylor.
Yeah, so we did open that up for now. If you don't get your order in, there's a good chance that the we're going to be sold. The container will sell out, I think, before it even arrives. So the container is hopefully shipping any day, if it hasn't shipped already. We got confirmation. I'm assuming that's why we decided to open it up. Mm-hmm. So we got confirmation that they're, it's packed. And
it's going to be a while, but yes.
Yeah, we're looking at probably 6 weeks. It has to come over in the water, has to clear customs, has to do all that stuff. So we're hoping that we have it in 6 weeks. We'll keep you up to date with what we know, tracking-wise, via the out-of-stock page, and hopefully maybe some periodic email updates. But it's coming.
And so right now, it's open to Inside the Hex members.
Yep.
For pre-order.
Yeah, pre-order Inside the Hex only, and then next Friday it will go live for everybody. So if you want to go become a member and watch some of my business stuff, I'm about to make a video. I'm going to make one this weekend about just all the stuff we have going on, talking about the buildings, talking about the financial aspects of it, the implications, talking about Canada, Obsessed Home Theater. I'll update you on what movement's happening there. The other Australia, and then deionization systems. What else do we got going on? And the villages, the local install ideas. I talk about it in a Wash and Talk. That Wash and Talk should be out next week.
And just for some clarification, so Inside the Hex members have access right now, so they got a whole week basically to get in line.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's open to everyone, and then as those orders come in, that's the order in which we're going to fulfill them when they come in. So
Yeah.
assuming we have enough once the container comes in.
Yep.
John says, will you do a pre-order on the 5-inch liquid elements?
Yes. I don't even know if we'll have to pre-order it. It might be just a live order. That should be in transit as well, coming from, I don't know if they're coming from Germany or if they're coming direct from the Chinese factory. But that's coming. What are we getting? 500, I think. Was it 250 or 500?
It's smaller than whatever you said last time.
I think it's 250.
Yeah, that sounds closer.
So I think I ordered 250 machines, and then we'll bring more beyond that. But I think it's going to be pretty popular. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. I used it a little bit. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is certainly the superior entry level solution. And now I'm like, gosh, this thing is freaking incredible. So the story behind that, it's called the T4000 V1. There's already the V2. The T4000 V2 is already in Europe. The difference is a couple little minor, circuit tweaks, I believe, but the power cord is now removable, kind of like the Griots, where you can take the power cord off. Well, the V1 was approved, UL approved, right? The V2 isn't UL approved yet, and so we're like, well, what should we do? Should we wait for the V2? That could be 6 months, or should we bring the V1 over for people who want it, don't care about the detachable power cord, bring that over, offer it up. I think it's like $210 or something like that. Retail it's going to be. We're bringing over the 1-inch as well. So the 1-inch and 3-inch are coming. I didn't love the 1-inch and 5-inch. I didn't love the 1-inch is cordless. I don't love the 1-inch either, but it's decent. I really didn't like the 3-inch very much. So hopefully we can convince them to make some tweaks to that. And so we'll likely be opening that up just for sale, when we get it. And so we're looking at probably mid-May, so only a few weeks away. It's not that far away. 4 weeks maybe at the most, maybe late May at the latest. And so it's kind of like Bilt Hamber. I'm going to sell on Obsessed Garage the things that I like. And then there's also going to be Liquid Elements US, where you'll be able to buy pretty much anything Liquid Elements, and we'll fulfill it for them. So this is my foray into the wholesale aspect, and then we'll go out and we'll find probably similar retail partners to retail the whole Liquid Elements line.
And Sebastian will be here next Wednesday, I believe. So
yeah,
I might have some video content with him. Super chat here from Spencer, $9.99 US. Matt, in the process of building my 70 by 128 shop for detailing, what are some musts you'd put in it other than lift, reel, lights, and cabinets, stuff that most people wouldn't normally think about?
Yeah, I mean, the lighting and lighting control is key. You want lighting headroom, right? Especially in a detailing facility where we plan for like 150-foot candles when you're standing on the ground, and then be able to dim that so that you don't always have to have it flame throwing, but have the ability to. I find myself almost never using lights because the hand lights or Scangrip lights, because I can see everything I need to see with the proper lighting, and it's not fatiguing. You need to think a lot about your lift and what the position or lifts, where the position of those are going to be. Your cabinet placement also. So I think a lot of it just comes down to, where you're going to have your outlets and electrical, where your power cord reels and your air reels are going to be, if you're going to have that kind of stuff. So those are the little details. Are you going to do something like lev rack to store some parts and pieces? Are you going to do something like that supplements your cabinets? Because lev rack is a lot less money to do per linear foot of storage than it would be to do all cabinets. So think about those kind of things.
Alvaro says, greetings from Punta Arenas, Chile.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us. Rowan wants to know, what's the difference between Wera and Weha?
So Wera is a German manufacturer that manufactures some stuff in Germany, most of their stuff in China, from what I can tell. From what I've been told, Weha is more of an aggregator, right? So everything Wera, for the most part, is Wera stuff. Weha is much more aggregated, where they're just pulling from, it's kind of a lot like Sonic, where they're aggregating and pulling different tools from different places and putting their name on it. Everything from Weha that I'd got my hands on just wasn't quite as good. They have some interesting tools, but Weha is another German tool company, but they don't make most of the stuff. This, from what I can gather, my everything in my being is drawing me to Wera. And on the screwdriver front, and then a lot of the other Weha tools, there's a better manufacturer, NWS or Knipex and the pliers. I think all the Wera screwdrivers in most instances are better. So, again, think of Weha as more of a tool aggregate or a full solution tool provider, where Wera is more of a specific tool solution provider, or tool specific tool provider.
Zane wants to know, should you buy Liquid Elements T4000 even if you're not a beginner?
Yeah, I mean, I say beginner, it's a great option for a beginner. I think it's more of a budget thing. If you're price conscious, or you just don't value, you're not a big time, you're not like going to get into this, you don't think you are. And if you did, you could always sell it and head down the more expensive path. I'm not going to be using I'm going to be using very likely the Rupes cordless, the Mirka cordless, the Rupes 1-inch nanos, unless something better comes out soon. But it is a great entry level solution. I've been looking for that forever. It's just like when I discovered the Karcher Cube. I'm like, holy crap, this thing's not bad. And then, of course, the Active came out, the Active 2.0 or the VE52. I'm like, well, this gives us full flow. By the way, I did learn that the Ego cordless or battery-powered pressure washer, which I was shocked how good it is, it has the same guy who made the Karcher pumps in China is the one who made their pump for them. So it is a bespoke pump. It's freaking incredible. Something I've been noticing, I mean, the general public, all you guys get so excited about new stuff, and I get that. But like the Active 2.3, the Big Boy stuff. So Big Boy, you guys need to just flush that. It's just shiny plastic, pretty looking plastic on inferior Chinese junk. So Active is using 5 plungers, so Big Boy couldn't do that. So well, we'll just do 4. And we'll price it $50 less. The Big Boy stuff is junk. All of it's junk. And you got to be wary of the young YouTubers who don't know much about this stuff, and they're real enthralled by Amazon. There's nothing that you should be buying on Amazon outside of paper towels and deodorant. This is not stuff you should be buying on Amazon. If it's on Amazon, that means it has enough margin to be on Amazon. And that means that you're buying a $100 thing for $500. Otherwise, because the reason why we don't have anything on Amazon, they take 40% margin, roughly. It costs roughly 40% for you to sell on Amazon, most, especially heavy things. And then you have to have a no questions asked return policy. And so if you're seeing this stuff available, that means there's enough profit in it. So that means the base product costs so little that they can sell it there. So all the guns and fittings and all this knockoff bullcrap, Uber Flex hoses and Flexzilla this and junk that. What you'll notice, one thing you can use to vet your sources, your review sources, is look for people who are Amazon shoppers. If they're talking Amazon, they don't know what they're frickin' talking about, or they're not an expert. So I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but like one of the things Michael Stevens is in the chat, the youth man. Like yesterday, he and I were talking about Obsessed Home Theater, and he was talking to me about a Blu-ray player from some, I can't even remember the name, some weird name like Magenta or something like that. What the heck was the name? And they bought the Oppo. They basically bought the Oppo tech, and then we weren't really sure, are they any good? It's a $2,600 or $3,000 Blu-ray player, and so that product is like obscure. Their website's terrible. It's commercial grade. We don't even know if it's any good. The one player, the 800 series is $1,600, and the 900 series is $3,000. And so the fact that he even knew that existed, an Amazon buyer doesn't know anything about that. An Amazon reviewer, Amazon expert, if you will. Those guys only know what they see other people like me or him talking about. So you don't want to be buying stuff that they're recommending because they don't know. If you're not talking Mosmatic and Krensla and AR, if you're not talking, maybe you're talking like custom cat pumps, or you're talking about, things more obscure like Comet is a big OE manufacturer in Italy of pumps, pump heads. They just happen to have this specific line, and our friend Amos is the one who sort of brought that over here. I fought him on that for a while. I'm like, this is junk. But then when we got our hands on it, it was like, okay, this is pretty decent. So, but what we're looking for in this world is you're looking for not highly marketed, highly polished things. You're looking for the things that aren't highly marketed, that are highly engineered. And so the highly marketed stuff in pretty much all facets is almost always going to be inferior. Why in the world would you buy a big boy blower when the Metrovac exists, when the Metrovac is incredible? Now, I don't like plug-in blowers. I would much rather use a leaf blower. Ego in the beginning was not a highly marketed, and it still really isn't. It's still more obscure. They run some ads on TV and stuff, but in comparison to the big boys in that space, Ego is making bespoke stuff. That pressure washer that they made is pretty remarkable. So you want to be looking for that kind of stuff when you're looking for reviewers. If you're talking pressure washers, I've already told you what you need to know. And I can tell in 2 seconds. Now, I was interested in the Active, so I'm like, I need to buy the Active. The big boy, I can tell just looking at the picture.
It's made for detailers, though.
It's bullshit. That's nonsense. It's freaking garbage. I met the guy. He's just a marketer. He doesn't know anything about detailers. Doesn't care about detailers. It's just a way for them to make money. There's so many of these type of things in the world that, like Sunjo. Who's Sunjo? Who is it? At least Big Boy, there's a guy. It's Sunjo. Who's Giraffe? Who's Mr. Giraffe?
Mr. Giraffe.
It's there's no human behind it. It's just a conglomerate of, marketing and bullcrap. So what I've decided, what I need to do, and I don't know if they'll take me up on it, but the Amazon reviewer guys, the guys that are hung up on, like the McKillian's guy who's buying stuff on Alibaba and then putting his name on it and pretending like it's something good. Like, why in the world do we need another gun? The MTM SGS 28 is the best budget gun on the planet, and there's no reason to have any other one. It's $65. If you can't muster up $65, you shouldn't be buying a pressure washer, right? There's no reason for the SGS 35. I told MTM this, and yet you see these baby blue guns all over the place. The SGS 28 is half the money and twice as good. You don't need T316 stainless unless you're using chlorine, and we're not doing that with cars. So you have an inferior trigger, you have a bigger, heavier gun, and a puke, hideous baby blue color. Why do we even need that? And yet, the reason why they did that is because all the other retailers that don't know anything about this stuff wanted to sell something different that I didn't have. And so you're either buying the Mosmatic gun or you're buying the SGS-28 or nothing else. I'm telling you. Don't tell me that, well, it lasts long. Mine's lasted. Yeah, but you have an inferior user experience and you paid 80% of it. And so then, a guy on YouTube was telling me, well, Josh V says that the Active 2.3 is the way to go. It's not. It's 80 decibels. Buy the AR630. You can do the same thing with the AR630 that's the superior pump. It's superior to the Krentla. It has a crankshaft-driven triplex pump. And that thing's going to last you for the rest of your life. You can change seals. You can change everything. That pressure washer is $750. The Active 2.0 or Active 2.3 is $650. It has a Chinese tiny little brass head. It's 81 decibels, so it's 2 times louder than the Active. The AR. I love that the guys in Active are great. They're trying. And it gets the same flow as an AR. All you would have to do to make an AR work on a 15 amp circuit is just frickin' open up the orifice like they're doing. They're doing the same thing. So you go to a 1.5 millimeter orifice in your foam cannon, which means that you're going to get inferior foam with a 2 gallon per minute machine. But there's in no world would you buy the Active 2.3 over a decent AR or a Comet that's less money. And so a guy on YouTube was saying, well, Josh V says to get it, and then I had to use this code, and I got a deal. I said, yeah, but you got a deal on a subpar thing. Who cares if you get a deal? So now you got this weak thing that isn't great. Wait like an extra week, save $100, and get the thing that, this is something you're going to have to buy and have for a long time. You still spent $600. It's not like they're spending $60. It's not like the McKillian's gun is free. So, so what I want to do is get with, see if Josh will take my call and Keeve will take my call and all these guys doing all these reviews on the, just copying my thing that I made up. And see if we can convince these guys, hey, let's get you guys talking about good stuff instead of talking about junk stuff. All that stuff on McKillian's is just Alibaba junk. So he went to Alibaba, got a contact in China, is buying some Chinese off-the-shelf junk, and then bringing it over here, putting his name on it, and he's calling it good. It's no different than MJJC and all the other Chinese junk. And it's not free. It's not that much less than doing it right. What is it? $56 for that swivel gun. How much is the SGS-28?
Let's see.
It's $85. So you're going to pay $56. You're going to save $30 for a piece of junk. Or you can spend $100 with all the proper fittings and not have some Chinese bullcrap. Knockoff garbage. If you're an Amazon buyer, this is why I exist. Because I'm searching catalogs. I'm looking deep. I'm looking in the world. Looking out for engineered products. If it doesn't exist, we're going to go out and make it. You don't want to live a new age McKillian's a big boy life. It's not a good life. It's not a functionally excellent life. You want to have a better life. Take your time, do it right.
I think everyone has something that they're like nerdy about. So like if you're into kitchen knives,
right?
Somebody comes to you like, hey, I'm going to Bed Bath and Beyond. Which knife set should I get?
Right.
Like,
I'm going to get some Cuisinart knives. Right.
Well, for me, okay, I want to find some good bourbon. I'm going to ABC. No, don't go there. Don't go there. It's the same thing across whatever it is you're into.
Yeah.
And some people just, I don't care about certain things, and they don't care about certain things. You care about everything, so that helps all the rest of us find this cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, What's the OG spec sheet set? Yeah. What did you decide on when it comes to sheets? Bed sheets.
I don't know. I think it's just front gate. You know, the front gate. I think I did the percal. There's percal and sateen. I think I like percal better. Sateen is a little shinier. It's like the front gate hotel collection. It seems to fit well.
Velvet bedding. That's interesting. Sheets.
It's a good bet. It's about $330 or so for a set of king.
Yeah, that's not terrible. There's your sateen.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. Whoever asked that, sorry, I lost your name there. Brian wants to know, is the Active 2.0 portable solution the most compact option on the OG site? I want to travel with it in the trunk/rear foot area.
Yeah, that's probably the smallest. Yeah, I think that would be your best bet. It is the smallest pressure washer.
Anthony, who was talking to us last week about garage design, says, I've really been enjoying Optimum Nutrition's Gold Standard protein powder. Yeah. It's a good calorie to protein ratio.
Yeah, but it tastes like dog crap.
Well, he's found a delicious flavor here. Oh. French vanilla ice cream. This is good too.
Yeah, but vanilla proteins always have that super proteiny taste that I just never like. But you know, maybe that one's okay. Optimum is always, and that's an old staple, or old standby, and it always tastes like crap.
Forever,
yeah.
Bring Your Woods Cruise says, what does the OG towel dispenser going to look like? Is it enclosed? Is it a simple rod-style holder? We need a better solution than the box.
I don't know. It's some fancy thing Bryce made. It's it's like slides into the hole.
And it's magnetic, so
yeah, it's big, strong magnets where you magnetize and you put it on your stuff, and
it's quite impressive.
Yeah,
it cost.
How much is it going to be?
I don't know.
$500 or something crazy. Yeah,
a lot. Pablo says, "Hey Matt and Chris, come to the UK soon. We want to give you some pounds sterling."
Yeah.
Smiley face.
So we're deep into the discovery process of what we're doing or figuring out Canada. So I have Chris and team doing a cost analysis because I need to know what it costs to ship. What is our labor cost? What is our warehousing cost? What is our packaging cost? We obviously know the cost and margin on our product. How much profitability is in there, and then that'll help me figure out how to pay. Whatever strategic relationship I have, like Mantis, Tool Grid, figure out what can I pay. So that way they cover their labor overhead and their material costs, but have some profitability for them as well in there. Make it worth their while.
Kevin Nickens says, hey, Matt, wife and I are about to buy our first house. Besides a garage, are there any other non-negotiables the house has got to have? Maybe some non-obvious stuff.
That's a good question.
Yeah, what do you use all the time at your house? Certain kitchen things?
See, I don't think anything's... It just depends on how much money you have. If you don't have a lot of money, and you don't have a lot of upside potential, meaning like you're buying a house and you're making a decent living, but you're never going to have like a massive amount of disposable income. Or let's say you're an attorney, you're a young attorney, and you're making $200, you're going to make $1 million someday. That's somebody who has a lot of money, who has the potential. Just get the bones, and then you can figure out the rest later. So now you're looking for, you're looking to better your situation, right? So I'm always looking at houses. And around here, the only way I would consider it at this point is if I bettered my situation. Does it have a 60-inch range and a hood? Does it have like really amazing cabinets? Does it have great flooring? Does it have those things that would make my life easier versus me using some of my disposable income to go and change things? And so, for some people it's location. For some people it's, for me it's the garage. What does the garage look like? Or what is the space? Now, I've always said this, if it has the room for the garage, I'm going to build it. I've never actually built one, so it would be great if it just freaking had it there, because chances are you're not going to end up building it. But does it have the garage that I need? Does it have a kitchen that is in a decent position? Does it have the ceiling heights I'm looking for? And then does it have the potential for me to update or upgrade? Can I see can I envision what it could look like? Now, if you don't have a lot of disposable income, and but you can afford it, a decent house and a decent sized monthly payment, as long as you roll it into the mortgage, then you're going to be more discerning. I need a great built-in refrigerator. I need a great range. I need a hood inside the house. I want it to have an outdoor kitchen. I want it to have a pool. I want it to have a great master bathroom that I don't have to update anything. I want it to have really nice cabinets. I want it to have nice, at least potential for closets, something that I could put in closet organization in the future. Does it have those things? Are the kids' rooms big? Is there a game room? Is there a basement? Is there a home theater? Things that you value. So I think it comes down to, I think you're more, this may sound counterintuitive, if you have a lot of upside potential in your career, then I think you're going to be less discerning. If you don't have as much upside, but you're kind of where you're at and where you're going to be within reason, then I think you may reach a little bit to try to get the house to have more of the things that you want, if that makes sense. That's the way I think about it. So when I'm looking at like the house I bought now, the original plan was to buy it just to build the house, just to hold me over. But now I'm thinking, I like this house. I don't want to build anything anytime soon. And so now I'm going to tear the floors out and tear the kitchen out and do those kind of things.
Mike P. says, has Matt ever looked at or bought a cabinet from A+ Warehouse? The tall cabinets look nice and made in the USA. What stands out for me is the shelves hold 1,000+ each.
No, I don't know what that is.
It's this place here.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. So the answer is no.
Any recommendations for someone, first-time polisher? Johnny Ruiz wants to know.
Have somebody watch your pad and make sure it's flat. So you don't want it lifting up. So it can be anybody. Have your wife watch you. And so do like a spot on the hood and have somebody, or have somebody hold the camera so you can watch yourself back. That's the one thing that I watched videos back of me early on, and my pad was always, hovering. You want the pad flat. And so if you can figure out how to keep the pad flat in all instances, then you can get a lot better work done. So that's my advice. Have somebody video you with the polisher, and you want to get the weight. If you're right-handed, your left hand is going to be your guide hand. Your right hand is just going to be your follow hand. You want to make sure that the pad is flat on the surface.
All right, let's see. Life is Lucci, talking about your flour discussion earlier. He says it's bromated, which is outlawed in other countries. I use Le Cinque Stagoni flour, which is unbleached and not bromated. It's incredible with a cold, long fermentation for pizza. So
interesting. I've been buying that King Arthur stuff, which is probably not fantastic, but
BH wants to know, going back to your leather discussion, if I've used the leather shield from the beginning on a new vehicle, should I start using leather protect after 3 years and then top that with shield?
Yep.
Good question. Zane wants to know, should I get the Rupes Mark III or Liquid Element T4000?
If you have the money, I think I would just go Rupes. There's certain things about the LE that's better. Man, it seriously is that good. Where I'm not sure. I think this, I could admit snobbery. I could admit my personal snobbery. I think I would have to have the Rupes. But there are certain things about the LE that are better.
Basil A says, hey, Matt, I'm curious as to what was the reasoning behind letting go of the GT4 and how your experience with it was.
I took it to the mountains, and I was, when I realized that it was going to go was when I was next to the rock wall on coming down toward like what is it called? The Topoco Lodge. There's like a wall on the right, and you're making these real tight turns. And a GT3 just howls off of that wall, and the GT4 doesn't. It's got a more bassy, sort of deeper. I found myself, I love the mid-engine feel, but the shorter red line, longer, taller gearing. I actually like the longer gearing for the most part. It just isn't a GT3. I think that for a GT4, you need a GT4 RS because then it has a GT3 engine in it. But for the GT4, it's hard to go backwards. You need to progress through the GT4. So anybody who I get emails all the time, people asking me about what they should do about their Porsche or their car, or what they should get between a 991.1 GT3 or a 718 GT4. I always suggest take the GT4 first. That gives you room to progress. And so mid-engine's better, but Porsche holds it back. And so I think you need to experience the GT4. But I want to have a GT4 RS. That's something I think I'm going to really love. But it wasn't the same in the mountains. I'm like, this feels lean. It feels a little underpowered in comparison to a GT3, and it feels held back.
Noe wants to know, did you end up filming a closet organization video?
Yes. We should have it up soon. It's going to be on Colette's channel. We'll announce it as soon as he gets that done. So it's probably sometime next week.
John Carnegie, two-part question here. On Matt's health journey, has he come across Brian Johnson?
No. I don't know who that is.
Well, then the follow-up is, does he buy into the don't die ideal or his blueprint?
Yeah, no, I don't know who Brian that is. Johnson. I haven't come across. Check him out.
BH wants to know, are you still doing the hydrogen water?
Yep. Yeah, so I buy Mountain Valley, and then I put it in my hydrogen generator, the little pitcher. The pitcher is now $700. It was $1,200 when I bought it, of course. And I don't know if they got some economies of scale or something, or they figured something out to save costs. But the pitcher is from Eco, and it's awesome. I don't know if it does anything, but it seems to work.
CK Mac says you should drop Doug at Switch Cars a message for your GTS needs. He might be able to help locate one. And then Joseph chimes in, Switch Cars is great.
I'll have to check that out.
I guess they find fancy cars like that one. All right, thanks, guys.
The other project I'm looking to take on, I called Sean from PSI, is I want to go... So I'm sending my E36 down. So the window frickin' broke on the E36. So I got to fix that. So those parts should be here today. I'm going to fix the window. And then Manny's going to drive it down to South Florida to drop it off at Chris's place. Chris did the stereo in it because I needed to change the amp, and we ran the Porsche Classic head unit with RCA out, but it only has like 1 volt out. And so we've got a ground loop, and the noise floor is really high. It just doesn't have enough pre-out for the amplifiers are just running at like max gain. So there's just no oomph. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go speaker level into the Moscone processor and then into the amplifiers. We're going to swap out the DSP amp and do the new one, which has more power as well. And then I'm going to do a Euro swap. So I'm looking for... Sean from PSI is looking for a low-mile Euro engine, trans, and diff, and rear subframe. So I'm going to do the full and drive shaft as well. So I'm going to do the full Euro swap on my E36 and make it freaking awesome. It's already pretty awesome, but I'm going to make it even more awesome.
Boss wants to know, he wants you to know, Amazon is great for buying Roombas.
Right, exactly. You're not going to do some Roomba research. Let's read the reviews. No.
My friend Jonathan Richardson is here in the chat. I could tell because I mentioned the word bourbon, and now he pipes up. So he's one of my fellow snobs. Are you able, when it comes to the Liquid Elements polisher, to convert the V1 to a V2?
No.
Craig says, have Laurel do all the new headquarters interior. Matt needs to be doing Matt things.
If I could afford her, I would.
That would be a big project. Max says, have you tried out the Milwaukee polisher with a 3.0 HO battery? I found it fixed the weight issue with 6.0s and plenty of runtime.
Yeah, I mean, I have for sure. I've got a bunch of 3.0s laying around. I'm sure I've used it with it.
Dr. Phil wants to know, how's the watch collection going? What are you wearing today? What is that?
This is the Batman. So this is a GMT Master. I forget the exact model number of it, but this is the
Somebody will tell us.
Yeah, blue and black.
I like that.
A GMT Master. So I have the GMT or the Batman. I have a Starbucks, and I have the black, date, just the normal standard, Rolex Submariner. And then I have my original, Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean, that I've had for years. And then I bought a Tudor Pelagos. I like it. I like it a lot. It has a nylon band.
Yeah, that's what you were wearing last week.
Yeah. I mean, that's a $4,100, a watch, where this is a $18,000 watch. It's just a much different. This watch, I think if you get an allocation, they're like 11. And then
Resale.
Yeah, resale. You're buying it,
Secondary.
15 to 20 grand, to get one in the secondary. And I don't like to buy them new. I don't want somebody else's sweat on my wrist. But so the three that I bought, I'm buying in the secondary on Chrono or from a dealer, and you have to pay a lot more for them. But then this watch I get to own, I get to have. It stores value. So let's say that Rolexes aren't as in vogue as they are now. I'm still going to be able to sell this watch for 10 grand. So if I got to have it for 20 years and it cost me $6,000 to own it, and I get to have it, so I've got some store value, or there's possible, that they, maybe possibly worth more someday. Who knows? So anyway, I really dig it. I dig a watch. It makes me feel good. I don't think I'm going to buy a ton of them, but that's one thing. If I ever did get rich and famous, I'd buy a bunch of watches. I'm kind of into it.
Obsessed Mobile Detailing wants to know, is there a video coming with Grant from Modern Day that you talked about a while back?
No.
No, but we are working
I wasn't here when he was here.
Yeah, he was here a couple weeks ago. We are working on something special with him for the garage giveaway. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's going to be good, though. Johnny Ruiz wants to know, any future Subarus going to be added to your collection?
I don't think so. I was looking for, the other day, when I started looking for Carrera S's, I started looking at hatches again. And if anybody ever if you find like a super low mile, like I'm talking like 5,000 mile or less hatch, I'd be interested in getting one of those. That could be cool.
Let's see. I lost the person, but they were asking if we were going to get the Ego mini bike. Have you seen this?
No.
I haven't either. This is pretty awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah. Speeds up to 28 miles per hour.
Huh.
And let's see. That looks up to 220 pounds. So you're good there.
Yeah. Well, I'm 221.
Oh,
so
no.
Yeah. Might not be able to do it.
Let's see. Up to 20 miles of runtime on a single charge.
Yeah.
For two 7.5 batteries. Look at that's
That
a
looks
decent
fun.
size. Yeah. Thanks for the heads up, whoever that was. That's kind of cool. Definitely need to check out Bilt Hamber's glass cleaner. I've heard good things. It says high definition.
Yeah. So we'll have traceless on pre-order as well. It's up there now, I think.
Macintosh Plus says, hey, Matt, I'm on the hunt for an E90 M3.
Okay.
Which colors would you personally prefer?
Le Mans Blue is my favorite. Then Interlagos. I like Alpine White. It's great. They didn't do Mineral White on the E90. I think Mineral White was only on the F80. I don't mind Melbourne Red. It's not great, but Silverstone 2 can look cool. So really the only color I wouldn't accept would be black. I just wouldn't want black. But all the other colors are pretty decent. My favorite, Le Mans. Second favorite, Interlagos. And then white would be third favorite.
First time I've caught the podcast live, says Torque Media. It's 4:30 a.m. in Australia.
Yikes.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us. That's cool. Let's go back here. Have you guys tested the Big Boy pressure washer? I'm curious to see how they stack up.
I can tell you right now, it sucks.
Another big boy question. We'll skip that one. Do you have any lower-priced scissor lift recommendations? It appears that Twin Bush has gone out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Big surprise there.
Yeah, not a big surprise. I was the one funding them, and when I went away, no one knows anything about them. I was literally funding them, like paying for everything. I don't know. There really isn't one.
Oscar M. was the one who asked about the Ego Mini Bag. So thanks, Oscar. Yep, bed sheets, we talked about that. Pulled the trigger, this is from Taylor, on Swiss Tracks for my home garage.
Nice.
I've been shopping cabinets and have built multiple MSS arrays.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, MSS Plus is out of my price range.
Yep.
Is Sabre comparable price-wise to MSS?
Yes. A little bit less. Sabre has many virtues. I mean, if you go back to, let's see, it would have been 2.5 years ago, and watch the series of the Harbor Hills house garage, and you can get some real detail on the Sabres. The Sabre cabinets are great. The other thing to look into is, which we're a dealer for now, is ProSlat. Their cabinets are pretty sweet, and so they'll be less. They'll be around, maybe a little bit more than Sabre money, a little bit less than MSS money.
Samarjit says, I pulled the trigger on a Krinsla 1322 TS custom install package.
Smart.
I'm watching every video of Mike and Matt on the channel to get prepared for it.
Nice.
Any additional tips or tricks?
There really isn't much. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, if you're going to cut the wall and do blocking, or if you're going to put a sheet of plywood on the wall, or if you're already have it set up, it's really pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy.
David wants to know, what do you like to clean rubber floor mats with?
I just cleaned the Rivians yesterday. I like to use just all-purpose cleaner. So I would use the tire brush, assuming your tire brush isn't all loaded up with goop because you're using some weird tire dressing. So I use a tire brush. I spray it I spray it down. So I keep a 25-degree nozzle just for that. So a 25-degree, and I clean spray them off, hit them with some Green Star diluted, I think 4-to-1, and scrub them with the tire brush, and then I just spray them off. And then I let them dry in the sun, and then I bring them in, put them on my bench, and then I use Griot's interior cleaner, and I spray, I clean them with interior cleaner. I don't want to dress them. I tried that gummy bull crap from Coach Kemi. Everybody goes wild about it. It's freaking gross. Makes it all weird.
He mentioned that.
Slick here. And
GUF?
No. Take that guff and punt it in the trash. It's funny that the suggestions that everybody has, but Pans and Rick's and Corey's suggestions, almost all of them I hate. So, not hate, but not even close. So,
agree to disagree.
Yeah. No, I'm right. But I loved it. It's been a lot of fun to test it out. And they weren't saying that what I was using wasn't great. It was just that, hey, here's a suggestion. Maybe try this. I like that. And most of them, I had the exact same thought. Most of them I had ordered, but I like to play dumb in a video. That way, otherwise, what's the point of doing the video? So we all kind of have a shared idea of different products, other than some nuanced things. I ordered some obscure stuff that those guys were suggesting. And so I'm trying the stuff out, and nothing so far has made the cut. The only thing that's made the cut that's really incredible is CarPro Phobic or Clarify Phobic to top your whatever your glass treatment is. It's freaking incredible.
Nate wants to know, hey Matt, would it be possible to use the exhaust side of the OG vacuum to dry a car like the Metrovac?
No. It has very little output.
Let's see. C. Zuckel says, Matt and OG Gang, thanks for all that you do. Oh, yeah, thanks, C. Did you hear about Vita, another German manufacturer of tools, mostly screwdrivers? In my opinion, the best tools. After 30 years of using screwdrivers, I finally found the one.
What is it?
WITTE.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, something about them, it just doesn't work for me. They just seem so simple, and that's probably why they're so good. But yeah, my friend Steven at Anglo-American carries those. But I got the catalog, and just nothing really tickles my fancy. You know.
Let's see. Patrick. Oh, that was Patrick. Matt D says, "Did I miss when these new shirts that you're wearing came out?"
Ooh, yeah.
No,
they came out right now.
Yeah, today is when they came out.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are printed on a different brand. It's the same as the Garage Design shirt, which is an awesome shirt. It's from a company called Castafel, which Bryce found. It has a reinforced neck, the material 60/40, so it's a little different look and feel to the regular OG, but it still has a good cut where it doesn't have poofy shoulders and weird looking stuff that like a next level shirt has. They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, so
just some different colors.
You know, available now.
What do we call
colors.
this one I'm wearing? What color is that called? Is it
orange? That's what it says.
I guess it is. It's kind of like creamsicle orange.
I'm wearing moss, I think. So there's moss, there's orange, and there's green. So those are all available now.
Yeah, it's a nice shirt. I think you'll like it.
I like it. It feels good. Hey, Matt, when are the Vera screwdrivers coming to the store? Boss wants to know.
I'm ready to do it. So if you're ready, I've had a couple of you send me an email. I can you tell me how much money you got, and I'll tell you which ones you want. I think if you did every single screwdriver or every single Vera part that I like, I think it's like $1,100 or something like that. But that's like 72 screwdrivers plus all like the little bits and little micro screwdrivers and everything. I've finished the spreadsheet. We're not going to stock the whole thing. I'm going to stock some of the main, and then we're going to provide a service. We're going to offer a service where we can design it for you, and then we'll build it to order. Stocking tools is like impossible unless that's your thing. And so what I'm going to do is offer a service, and not everybody's going to want the whole set. So I'm going to build out some sets to give people an idea, and then we're going to sort of build it and custom build it for you. It's going to be pretty sweet.
Matt Donovan says, "Hey guys, from New Mexico. Matt, do you use a specific racking system for pallets in your warehouse?"
We've been buying the stuff. The company we bought so all the gray shelving is flat shelving, so it's not pallet ready. It's not pallet sized. But I've used this company called DC Graves to order that stuff for me. Rousseau makes pallet racking. Lista makes pallet racking, but that's pretty expensive. I don't have any of that stuff. But no, other than just calling the DC Graves company that I found online years ago, because they were the only ones I found that had, because I wanted shelving that were flat, that wasn't wire, so I could put all our bottles on and point them toward the camera. But no, I haven't head down that path.
Neil White says, "Hey Matt, I use the leather/pine spray in my car from OG.
Yeah,
it's nice, real nice," he says.
Yeah, it's freaking great. We're gonna rebrand it as not because I don't really use a home spray, but we're gonna use it in the car. I've been spraying it in all the cars. It actually lasts a couple of days. If you put it on a little foam block, it'll last weeks. It's pretty sweet. Leather as well.
For Matt and the team, does Matt, while washing the car, only use the 40-degree nozzle?
Yes.
James wants to know, which product do you recommend for protection for new car dashes?
Don't put anything on it. Just clean it with Griot's interior cleaner and leave it alone.
Kay Kumar says, "Matt, try the Ghost protein powder. Look at the flavors. They're crazy. Nutter Butter Cookies is the best one."
Yeah, I've seen that. I wonder if it tastes good.
Hey, Matt, this is from Michael. Since you were in finance for a long time, do you have any current stock picks, or do you mostly just invest in index funds?
I have no idea what I own. I just call my guy, and he does it. I would highly recommend that. This is the biggest mistake of almost every single human, and thinking that you're smart enough or you've spent enough time to be playing that game. Because worst thing that can happen is you get a couple of them right. You just got frickin' lucky. And you start to justify, say, well, I knew that Tesla, blah, 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 blah. And you start to come up with all these justifications, and then one of these times you're going to get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. Because you're going to go in too narrow, too deep, and have too much home bias. Unless you're just in love with investing and you spend 20, 30 hours a week, messing around with it and really, really dialed into it and watching all kinds of stuff, becoming an expert, what happens is most enthusiasts start doing it with your life frickin' savings. Whereas, yes, a professional is going to charge you money, and yes, they're actually not spending any time looking at stock picks. You don't want them doing that because they don't frickin' know. And so what you want is the guys that are working at the frickin' mutual fund company, or you want I think you want people who spend their whole lives through trial and error picking stocks. So, I have some stock, I have ETFs, I have mutual funds, I have a few hedge funds, I got all that stuff. But my guy just picks it based on some sort of system that he's put together, based on some sort of research, and I tell him, don't ever freaking call me. Never call me. Unless you're going to call just to shoot the breeze. I don't care what my returns are. I don't care. He's going to make decent returns. He's going to charge me 1% to manage it, and then I'm going to go out and focus on what I'm great at. Why would you be if you're wasting time dicking around with that stuff? You're losing money. You're losing career potential. I think you're losing too much. Unless that's your thing. Like detailing's my thing. So now I'm in it. Unless you're so ask yourself, am I professional grade in this? I am professional grade in detailing. I can say yes. I am professional grade with garages. Well, now I've turned it into being an actual professional. But unless you're professional grade in investing, buying, selling stocks, if you have a Robinhood account, you're not a frickin' professional grade. I can pretty much guarantee that. So don't do it. Call up the frickin' local Morgan Stanley guy. Ask him if he went to like Bloomsburg University. Don't work with him. Try to find somebody smart who will talk you out of doing exactly what you're doing. That's my advice. Man, I don't want to pay it. I can do it for free. And, the studies, screw the studies. The studies aren't incorporating everyone's individual personal stupidity. No one's buying the frickin' S&P 500 that is an amateur and just hanging on to it when it's down 52% peak to trough. You're not hanging in, especially if you have any real money. If say you got $500,000 in it, and your $500,000 is now $280. You're gonna bail and do something stupid. And you might have bailed when it was at $320. You said, "Man, I could have gone down to $280. I'm glad I bailed." But then you get back in, too late. Just so many stupid decisions people make. Focus on either becoming an expert, becoming professional grade in investing, or pass it off and go focus on what you are going to become professional grade in, because otherwise you're wasting too much time jerking around with it. That's my 2 cents.
Couple twin bush things here. John Walters, my twin bush lift was broken out of the box. I finally fixed it with a new motor. I was lucky to get it before they disappeared. And then Bradley, Armor Detail Supply, said, yep, I have a broken twin bush I have to take to the scrap because I can't get parts needed anymore.
Sorry, fellas. I tried hard. Really freaking hard. And they screwed it up.
Speaking of Bradley, Mike G wants to know, hey, Matt, can we get a wash and talk with Bradley to hear his story?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, he's like 4.5 hours away, but I'm sure he'd come up at some point. It'd be fun. Maybe when he delivers my V2 glass coating, we'll see. I'm testing it out. I put it on the Rivian. Michelle's going to take it to task. I don't know if I was supposed to tell anybody, but I put it on in a video. So, cat's out of the bag. You can take that NDA and shove it up your rear. I'm doing what I want.
Brian wants to know, is P21S gentle enough to clean satin gray Akrapovich tips? They have the logo on them.
Yep.
And then Stint Placer has a really good point here for Samarjit, who asked about the 1322 tips and tricks.
Okay.
Stint Placer says, don't forget, PP plug out before you turn it on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stint Placer.
Always take the PP plug out. Yep.
You only have to do that once most of the time before you figure out it's not.
I've done it. It's really not that bad to... you untwist, turn your head to the side, and it just makes a little bit of a spritz on the wall.
Speaking of which, did you replace your hose yet at home?
No, I didn't.
I'm going to ask every week. Improved Garage, $5. Super chat. It's a great day. I ordered touchless, traceless, new shirt colors. When will the LE be up for pre-order?
I don't, like I said, I don't think we're going to do pre-order. I think we're just going to sell it as soon as it comes. So looking at, I think late May, last couple of weeks of May.
K Seashells says, which tutor was it again that you got?
I think it's called the Pelagos XD or something.
Somebody told us last week. I forget.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stuart says, can we get a T-shirt in the UK without the $100 shipping charge?
Oh, shit. The problem is we used to send them first class, and it was like, it was like $8 or something, and then like 90% of them would disappear.
USPS.
Yeah, you really got to throw them in when you order something else, and have to ship it DHL there, and they'll get it there like in 2 days. But yeah, I'm working on it, boys, and we're gonna get it there at some point, and it's gonna be. Well, I would guess you guys have to pay crazy shipping fees even when it is there, but I'm working on it.
All right, Taylor Hardy says, I think I'm going to reach out to OG Design for some assistance with cabinets.
Smart.
One more question first, though. Mm-hmm. Will Sonic foam inlays fit in any other brand of cabinets? I don't have any yet, but I'm super enthralled with the way they fit in MSS.
Yeah, 100%. So, we've sized like Rousseau so we could have it fit, and then the Rousseau has you could do Lista as well. Kyle will yell at you for doing Lista, but they'll fit in Listas. We put like a little divider so it fits tightly. But yeah, if they fit, if you did it in say it's Sabre or something like that, what I suggest is then we tool grid around it, so the tool grid will lock it in place, and then you have extra room to fit the other stuff that isn't in foam inlays.
Christopher Davis says, I keep most of my cars outside. Mm-hmm. I'm in the Northeast.
Okay.
Any advice when it comes to pollen? It's starting to get to that time of year when I wash my car, and then 2 hours later, my car is yellow.
Don't mess with it. Either full wash or don't touch. That's my advice to you. Otherwise, you're going to... Or do this, Chris. Google pollen under a microscope. It looks like a gosh darn jagged ball. Maybe that's not what I'm looking for. See that? Yeah. It looks like a spiky tennis ball. So you don't want to be jacking around with wiping pollen on your paint. It's going to scratch the crap out of it.
Yeah, it looks like those.
Yeah, looks like a sea urchin. Yeah. So don't touch it unless you can wash it. So you just deal with it. Everybody else's car looks like crap. Don't start freaking humping your car.
No car humping.
Just wait until you can wash it.
Ben says, I finally finished getting my AR custom install on the wall last weekend.
Nice.
Love how it turned out. Thanks for the creating the solution for us, Matt.
I'm here for you.
John Carnegie says, Tucker Carlson recently did an interview with Brian Johnson. That's the guy we were wondering about earlier. Regarding AI and anti-aging. Thought it might get a good rant out of Matt.
Interesting.
I second the ghost protein recommendation from James. That's popular. Are you going to make a video on the LE polisher? And if so, when?
We've already made it's in the E30 series, the E30 correction series. I made an introductory video to explain the story, and then it'll be I'll be using it a bunch more.
CK Mac wants to know, will we ever get a Russo mobile cart that has a tool solution included?
Yes.
Been dreaming of one since your SEMA videos.
Yes. It's on my short list. It'll be more, like we're making a cart garage in my new garage that we're building here, where the cart kind of goes in and close the door. And so that'll be when I start to head down that path. I'm going to buy like 52 different versions and figure out which one I like. And we'll sell off all the others.
All right, last few questions here. This one's from Votech Garage. I'm upgrading some of my tools.
Okay.
Which wrenches and sockets do you recommend?
Wrenches, Stahlwille, STAHLWILLE. Sockets, Koken, for sure. That's it. Koken Z series, if you can.
All right, Cars for Me says, nice to see you guys live. Just got done rubbing on the wife's car and getting it coated. Good times. Dan Pfeiffer, he has this question. Matt and Chris, have you looked into hydrogen water? Gary Breckett is all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier. Matt has the fancy picture.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Just placed a decent-sized order. This is from Rephrased. Is there a way I can have the OG team put in the 1.5 millimeter orifices in the griots that I purchased?
If you just order, it's probably too late. It's super easy to do. Just a flat blade screwdriver, straight blade screwdriver, and I believe a 14 millimeter wrench to install the plug.
Bradley says, LOL, all good on the video. So NDA that you violated is okay.
Mm-hmm. All publicity. You want me talking about it as soon as possible. You know, companies get real weird about that. It's the best thing ever. Then people are primed and ready to go.
He says, we know better than to expect anything less from you.
That's true, yeah.
They knew what they were getting into. And then Jose has a good suggestion. He says, if Bradley can't make it up for a Wash and Talk, maybe have him on the What Am I Missing episode.
Well, I'm going to be missing all armor detail supplies. What I'm going to be missing.
All right. What's the next Wash and Talk, and when will we see it? It's the Rivian, right?
Yeah, but I'll probably make one before then.
Okay.
We have a cool series with the Enthusiast Auto Group detail teams coming down. I'm going to teach them my ways. We're going to video that. It's going to be cool.
All right, and then last thing, since we forgot it last week. So what is this?
This is Nick's creation. This is the Detail Factory OG collab brush for installing tire dressing, and it comes in this sick box that Bryce designed, and it looks like this. So it's got interior bristles, so the super soft bristles, which makes it, you know, not a great, you know, it's not like a good tire or wheel cleaner. I like the curve ball for putting on, which is the big ball thingy for putting on tire dressing, but it's a little bit too big. And so the team, the product development team, came up with this concept. And the way I hold this is I kind of hold it and pinch, because it's super pliable because it's an interior brush. It's super soft. But that softness is what allows you to get in all the cracks and crevices of the tire, and it leaves a much more even finish with your tire dressing. It's freaking sweet. And
then I saw in your one of the videos, what if you want to keep the box? Is that cool? Hang on to the box?
No, get rid of the box, you dorks. Are you going to keep it in the box, put it back in here, and it's going to get all gooped, you know, tire dressinged up and stuff? No. Throw the box away. I've kept the box just for videos, and it's sketching me out. No, don't keep boxes, people.
All right, last two things here. Craig says, can you run dual Comet pressure washers?
I don't know. We haven't tested it. I think probably, but we haven't tested that out.
All right, here, and then last thing from Improved Garage, Super Chat, $5. You'll appreciate this. And good job to Janet and her crew and Ted.
Okay.
I placed 2 orders during the live stream, and they both shipped before it was over. There you go.
That's good. We're good.
On
We're
top
good.
of things.
Yep. Yeah,
right.
So definitely that foam cannon thing, you're out of luck. You'd have had to prep that beforehand with support.
All right, we'll be back next week, I believe. We're not sure where yet. But
maybe here, yeah. Maybe Yarn, maybe my house. Who knows?
Just not in the car again.
Whatever's most convenient for me.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thanks, everybody, for the questions.